Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Home Loans with Hart. And I'm Robin Hart. And we are diving into some heavy week of the markets. We actually today hit day 84 of the Iranian war. And I don't think anybody at the beginning of the year would have ever predicted that the year would look like this. Let's take a peek at the rates and see what the numbers are telling us. As of this morning, May 22nd, per mortgage nuggets, our national averages show to be 30-year fixed coming in at 6.65, while the 15-year fixed sits in around 5.99%. And if you're looking at government-backed loans like VA and FHA, they're still holding strong, just under 6% at 5.99. Now, while we see a slight ease in the 10-year Treasury yield today, rates do remain near a 9-month high. That's correct. Now, the big story is the ongoing blockade with the Strait of Hormuz, a vital passageway for about 30% of the world's oil supply, also another 30% of the world's helium supplies, and 30% of the components made for fertilizer. So, big stuff coming out of Strait of Hormuz, and the impact is being felt at every gas station and every grocery store aisle as energy costs drive up inflation across the board. Now, here are my current predictions. Now, we presented these earlier in the month, and we're going to continue to hammer these home until they all come true, I hope. So, I expect for the blockade to persist through August with multinational front negotiations from China, Australia, Japan, India, Pakistan, and eventually freeing up trade by September. Now, I'm forecasting oil to exceed $150 a barrel by the end of May, beginning of June, more likely in June, and possibly hitting as high as $200 in July, with mortgage rates likely capping at 7.25. Now, I ran these comparisons through ChatGPT analysis, which actually only gave 60% likelihood of an extended crisis, favoring a soft landing. Now, that's interesting because chat takes into account the most recent data analysis and input from news outlets. Now, here's the thing. Today, they said, again, we've gotten a lot of head fakes on this. Oh, it's all about to wrap up. It's only a couple more days. Don't worry about it. I placed my likelihood of extended blockade scenario at about 85%. Keep in mind, I feel like I'm Charlie Brown with the football and Lucy's pulling the football back every other day. So AI does lack that human touch and that irritation sometimes, and it's just sometimes plain hallucinating. And it may come up with unrealistic terms and some. All right. So now, AI in mortgage servicing, speaking of which, it is here. So the adoption of mortgage servicing is accelerating with components of AI. A Black Wolf Advisory Group report shows adoption jumped from 15% in 2023 all the way up to 38% in 2025. I can imagine it's over 50 or 60% as of 2026. Servicers are seeing massive efficiency gains from 30 to 50% reductions in customer service cost, which you can imagine are lowering the workforce, but also 25 to 40% drops in document processing expenses. So, however, keep in mind, Freddie Mac just came out with some new governance requirements, meaning companies must have formal policies and executive oversight in place. And what does that mean? Well, you can't just let AI handle it all. You got to take the blame, and you can't just blame the vendor if the AI components don't work. So that's fun and a little scary all at the same time. So also, we did predict rates to remain elevated for the foreseeable future. And you might ask why. Well, the Fed has a new inflation hawk at its helm, and his name is Warsh. You'll be hearing that quite a bit over the next several years. And we've seen the rise of inflation due to gas and grocery prices. Keep in mind, inflation is the enemy of long-term mortgage rates. So if enemy's hanging out, so are rates hanging out high. All right. Now we are seeing some builders pull back and kind of freeze a bit as builder costs are climbing and they're limiting their access to low-cost mortgage loans for their buyers. We have options for you at CMG if you're interested. But this also means we will enter a new realm of financing of housing shortage in the next 2 to 5 years. Like seriously, we just got out of that, but now we're going back into it because we have high cost rates. All right. All right. And currently, inventory is kind of elevated. There are about 43% more sellers nationwide than there are buyers. Now, keep in mind, there's fewer buyers just because the rates are elevated. It doesn't mean we have a huge influx of houses. We still actually technically have a housing shortage. We just have people unwilling to buy at an elevated rate. My prediction, you should probably look at buying now and holding and wait, negotiate the rate later. Now, this model also shows us, according to our analysis, 38 major metros explicitly favor home buyers currently. So if you're living in those states, you may want to take a look. All right. And you can use strategic loan selection to mitigate some of the cost of those high rates. Take a look at these differences on a 5-1 ARM, a 15-year fixed, and even a 30-year fixed. You can adjust your rate by changing your term or program. It's kind of nice. All right. Now, also looking at hedging higher costs for Americans that they're seeing at the gas pump. Well, there's several ways. One, you can either ride share or you could work from home if you have those options 2 to 3 days a week to mitigate the cost of expensive gas. You can also, if you're a homeowner, invest in energy efficient home upgrades. I myself just invested in a new thermostat. So yay. It's not a sexy purchase, but it does help. All right. Oh, and check this out. They are predicting grocery prices to rise. So if grocery prices are rising, you can start farming yourself if you're inclined to dig in the dirt, or you can check out community supported agriculture, local farms. Okay. All right, they do have co-ops. So, and keep in mind always that these AI sources are not the end-all be-all knowledge of everything. Now, see where a Florida man, we talked about it before, he used ChatGPT to sell his house and he felt like he made $100,000 more. Great. However, we've also uncovered huge mistakes made from home sellers who 45 days ago, and this was an actual transaction I worked on, where the home seller used ChatGPT to negotiate their contract and they negotiated them right out of the buyer. Yep, that's right. Their home, I just checked it out, still on the market. They just lowered the price again. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Lean into the professionals that you hired. They're called the realtor. Really, they do their job and they know a lot of data. Now, here's the happy side. We do see some stabilization on the horizon around August or September with normalization of gas prices and food prices somewhere between 2027 and 2028, which isn't that far away, y'all. Be surprised. All right. Now, I hate this expression, marry the home, date the rate. I hated that. Hated that. Never liked it. But I do believe in buying the home and renegotiating the rate. So check that out. Now, here's our meme of the week. God, love a Miss Modern Family. Can I sit around in an empty house and wait for somebody? Yep. The answer is yep. I get a license for that. All right. All right. So if you are curious as to best time to buy, well, it depends on you, but give me a call. Let's check it out and see if you're ready to take advantage of the available deals on the market. If you like this video, please follow us on any of our social media outlets. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and the artist formerly known as Twitter. I'm Robin Hart with the Home Loans with Hart team, where we're here to help you build wealth through the financing of real estate. I hope you have a blessed and safe weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend. We'll release some more stuff next week, but hope you have a great one. Take care. Bye.